Whoops. I was putting you on the stand, but yep, we're going outside. Put you on the stand from my makeup room, so that way I could set you down if I need to. Because first I just started about 2 weeks ago, I started some shishito pepper seeds. So I have shishito pepper seedlings, and then I have the peppers that I planted a couple months before that, the Marconi sweet red and the Cubanella, which I need to pinch the tops. So that's what I do. I pinch them. I do pinch the tops. So I make them bushy. So we're going to go outside and look at the pepper plants. Okay, where's the shishito? I'll show you. I started them in the greenhouse in the shade, and then as they started growing, I put them out, gave them just a little bit each day exposure to the sun until they got used to it. And now they're out in the sunshine and they're doing really good. So those are the baby shishito pepper plants. And then the sweet red Marconi and the Cubanella. They are, oops. That's so funny. I have been walking around, and on the bottom of my stand is my banana powder for my face and my face brush. Okay, I have to sit that down somewhere and wash it now because it fell in the dirt. All right, it'll be okay there for now. Here's the Marconi. These are, I'm not sure which is which. I think these ones are the Marconi Sweet Red. But anyways, you see this? It's growing up. There is some branching coming out right here. So what I do, don't be scared of this. So what I do is I pinch this top off. See, I pinch that whole top off, and I'm going to pinch this top off right here as well. Now what's going to happen is this is going to get bushy and branch. So now I'm going to do it to this one. I noticed this morning I needed to do it, so I figured I should share the process and what I do to get my peppers to be so bushy. Okay, and then we've got, over on the other side, I have the Cubanella. Fuzzy little guys. Okay, and then pinch, and I'm pinching off top branches, or top growth. Just like right there in the middle. It does amazing things for your peppers. Okay, ready? Where are we at? Okay, these are my poblanos. Look at how huge they are. Many, many branches. Poblanos do get big. The plant will get really big, but my poblanos are going up. Let me feel the pull. Yep, it's a 6 foot, but I would take away some feet for that. So it's, yeah, I would say they're at least 5 feet tall, but there are multiple branches. This is just 2 plants. See all those branches? And it's from that pruning. Now I'll show you my plants from last year. Okay. This is a green pepper plant from last year. It was over there in the garden, the original garden by the house. And so it didn't do anything last year because it was kind of under eggplants. So it made it through the winter. I covered them with sheets if it got real cold, or covered them up. And they made it through the winter, but I could see that they were alive, but they were yellow, brown leaves all crinkled up, you know, some pruned up peppers hanging from them. They looked dead. Really, they look dead. So what I did was I dug them up and I made a mixture of worm casting, blood meal, bone meal in equal parts, and mixed that all up. And when I dug them up out of the garden, and then I moved them out to the raised beds. So I would say move them to a different spot. If you're having problems with your pepper plants, the soil nutrients might be depleted. And sometimes it's much easier just to dig it up and repot it and keep it in the shade in a cool spot for a couple weeks while it gets acclimated to its new environment. And then you can put it somewhere else. And this one was dead. And now, as you can see, it's just, these are all bell peppers. And I even have bell peppers down here on the lower branches. So it's very bushy. The original base of the plant is like way down here in these little woody stems. But then there's all these branches. So this recently, I took, wait, my basil's kind of in the way. It's time to. Wasn't a basil video, but holy moly, I've got my basil everywhere. It's just, it's time to make pesto. So, really, I think that was my, kind of my goal today. But, this is a jalapeno pepper plant as well. And 3 weeks ago, it was out in that, it was over in that garden over there by the house. And it had wrinkled up peppers on it. I took them off, but brown leaves, crispy leaves, yellowing leaves. I was like, holy cow, what am I going to do? Is this dead? Let me try and see if that'll work again. So as you can see, it's coming back very, very healthy. And this one last year had a lot of jalapeno peppers on it. Now, this is another one I took out of the garden. It was very sickly. I didn't get any production from it last year. But as you can see from all the pruning of each stem over time, I've just got multiple branches on it. And for real, I've got tons of jalapenos. Again, I recently did a harvest of 10 jalapenos off this plant at the same time, and made jalapeno poppers. So now I'm like, yeah, buddy, I got some jalapenos. And I do love them. They're one of my favorite peppers. So I don't even know if you could see what I was just, all of that, showing you all the peppers. But yeah, so it's very bushy and tall. And then, so that's how I treat my peppers. So I would say if you're having any problems, and these are last year's peppers. All these peppers in this bed right here are last year's peppers. So I would say if you're having problems, if you're having yellowing, brown leaves on your pepper plant, assume that your soil is depleted of nutrients where they're planted. And it's either time to amend a lot more compost or manure or blood meal and bone meal into the soil. Those are organic. They break down over time. So you can also use a liquid fish and sea kelp emulsion fertilizer. That's organic, and that they'll take that up right away. I also use, I'll show you, I spray leaves with a combination of this stuff. It's called Terravita. It's a humic acid. And then it stinks very bad in here because I also making my own compost, which will be high in nitrogen, but there's eggshells in it. I'm breaking it down to help degrade it faster for the calcium in the eggshells. But worm castings, like a tablespoon of each, or a teaspoon of each, and this pressurized sprayer. And then I go around in the morning, especially because that's when the cell walls on the backs of the leaves are open and they take up most nutrients. I know I'm such a nerd, but hopefully it helps people. And it really stinks in here. It smells like dog doo-doo combined with pig slop combined with, anyways, I'll show you. I'm making my own tea. So today, this is going to be high in nitrogen and calcium, so it'll be deficient of other micronutrients that plants always need: iron, calcium, magnesium, all the calcium, phosphorus, potassium, all that good stuff, copper. Anyways, this is comfrey leaves, and they've been soaking in this water. It smells disgusting, and today I'm going to strain it, and I'm going to put it in an empty gallon jug. And I will use about a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of that in this with water and spray leaves and see how that works. I'm going to test a few plants and see if they respond well to it. Anyways, now these are the new, the poblano peppers, the sweet red Marconi, and the cubanella. Those were planted from seed in the spring. The jalapenos and the green bell pepper, those were last year's plants. Now, I have more that were planted, again, by seed in the spring over here. You see how bushy they are? There is another thing about peppers. They like to grow near each other. They like to grow close to each other. They don't like to be alone. I've said that about basil, too. Basil doesn't really like to be alone. So, some plants do better when they're close together. I'll end up doing another video just about eggplants, because my eggplants are throwing out another flush. I've got new seeds started for eggplants, tons of them, but my older eggplants from the spring are just, they're kicking it big time. Like, woo, they're just, I'm just excited right now because I'm looking on them right now, and every single variety has multiple fruits on each plant, and they're planted some of them are planted 5 plants in a 15-gallon spot. And they're doing so amazing. So I'm probably never going to, separate all my eggplants again, 3 feet apart, all of that. Sometimes that spacing stuff, you have to test and see in your environment where you live and how it's going to do best and what does best. And sometimes you break the rules, because all rules don't apply for all people. And even if we're in the same zone, we're still not in the same exact climate. I know I'm such a nerd. Okay, more peppers, more peppers. Lots and lots more peppers. Look at all these peppers. So again, my plants get really bushy. I am getting more banana peppers back here. I've got a purple bell pepper down there. But as you can see, they're thriving, like they're growing close together. All of my pepper plants are growing close together. They like it. When they're out there by themselves, they're like, man, I got no company. I don't know what it is, but they seem to like it a lot. So, I don't know. If Tiffany, if you're watching, I did see the other day, I didn't know what you were asking advice on in one of your garden videos, and I'm thinking it was the pepper plant that is struggling. So hopefully this helps you some. Just remember though, it's really hot outside, and if we're transplanting things, it'll go into shock, a transplant shock, and so we got to be careful. If you're going to transplant it, put it in a container and try to keep it in partial shade or protected under a big tree or something for a couple weeks just till it gets established. But yeah, I'm really excited. I've got a lot of peppers. I really am tempted to run out there and show you my eggplants, but I'll have to make another video about that because the sun is quickly coming up over these trees, and it's soon gonna feel like 100 degrees outside, and I'm getting ready to go spray all my plants with their foliar spray, which is the Terravita and the worm castings, before the sun comes up, because like I said, before the sun comes up is when the back of the cell walls on the leaves of the on the back of the leaves of the plants are open and more able to take up nutrients. And that humic acid helps plants pull nutrients from the ground. Sometimes they get tired, and the soil gets depleted, but they are immediately available when you spray the leaves. They're the nutrients are immediately available, and the butterflies are active. Well, of my direction, maybe you can see things, but in my direction I can't see anything. I always have to stop and look at the butterflies. And for anybody who's been over and they've seen this rose blooming, it's getting ready to get multiple clusters of flowers again. And all right, now I've got so many things I need to get done still. And yes, I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning like this, ready to go. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day.